Hello, 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 my soul family. We meet again in this beautiful time space momentum of now. I just want to firstly start with thanking you so much for being here with me and remind you that you can find me on all social media platforms, including TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere pretty much at Terrestrial Aura, also on Spotify if you're into these podcasts that I do. So I just really wanted to hop on here and touch on a few topics because I really feel the time has come. If you remember at the beginning of this series, this season of my podcast, I let you all into knowing that I would soon be launching a Patreon. So I want to let you guys know that is now effective. That is now something that is out there for the world to take part in. It's very ground level right now. But if you would like to sign up for my Patreon, definitely check me out at Terrestrial Aura. I'll also link it on the YouTube video of this recording. So if you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be linked below. And if not, you can find me at Terrestrial Aura on Patreon. My membership actually starts as low as $1 a month because it's more about quality than quantity. And I know that maybe makes no sense, but I want to be able to give quality to a quantity of people. Therefore, I found that it would be more beneficial for me to make it more affordable for those who actually want the help that will utilize it. So in my beautiful Patreon space, I am sharing a lot on tarology. This is a system that I have created to be able to intensify the energy of ourselves to become a frequency match with the universe and the internal and outer workings. It's ultimately to become the glass. If you follow me there, you'll know what I'm referring to. I am putting content out there pretty much on a daily basis. It's straight tutorial information, interactive, and I utilize Grabavoe codes, chakras, planetary fingers, frequencies, etc. So yeah, definitely check me out over there because I don't think you'll regret it. And it's only going to get better over time, just like fine wine. But anyways, guys. All right. So enough about tarology for now. We can touch on those matters in the Patreon space. But yeah, so I wanted to come on here because there is a topic that has been yearning in the core of my depths. And what that topic is unconditional love. And do we think and do we feel that unconditional love can even exist in this time, space, momentum we are in? So many people speak of unconditional love. They speak of unconditional love as if it is the ultimate highest truth of love and all that is. But the question is, does anyone actually know how to love unconditionally? Does anyone actually really fully give that? Or do we think and do we perceive ourselves as givers and receivers of unconditional love, even with the limitations that we place upon love? What does unconditional love look like to you? I challenge you to ask yourself that. Does unconditional love to you have any caps? Does there hold some type of resonance of what must be done to show said love? Or is this love so unconditional that it just loves purely without expectations? And it loves so purely that there's no hesitation of question or wonder of what someone else's feelings are or motive is or behavior signifies or anything of that nature. Is unconditional love feasible? Is it attainable? Or is unconditional love a perception of a thought that we feel that we can have, but ultimately we can't? My opinion on this matter has changed over time. I used to tell myself that I was a person of unconditional love. I used to tell myself that I was a person who could reach out and love someone so unconditionally and have no expectations of said love back. And I realized every time I did that, I kept finding myself hurt. I kept finding myself questioning the motives behind other people because I felt as if there was something wrong with me. That's not unconditional love. Unconditional love doesn't hold an expectation of any love in return and is unexpecting of anything in return in love, truly a happy balance or medium? Should we be seeking unconditional love? Or is unconditional love a bit toxic? To put all of your love into something and expect nothing in return, does that deplete you or does that fill you? If you love unconditionally, would it not fill you? And that leads me to the question, can we fully be in unconditional love? Does unconditional love mean all of the spats and battles that you have with those that you love can't exist because all you would be able to do is see that they are love and they are the fullest potential of themselves and they are doing the best that they can? Therefore, any expectations that would make us infuriated by others' actions or behavior would simply be a reflection of the lack of unconditional love that we hold for ourselves and them. To expect someone else's behavior outside of you to change, is that healthy? Many say it's not. And technically it's not. Because we can't expect others to change for us. We have to change ourselves. We have to be able to be so present with ourselves that we no longer need anyone outside of us to do anything other than be themselves. And is that not unconditional love? What if you take you out of the variable and simply see the other for exactly who they are, what they believe in, what they stand from, and realize that everyone has a different perspective, a different viewpoint in this life. And that does not make anything bad. That does not make them wrong. It doesn't make you right. It simply makes you aware that we are all so very different. And we all have so many different ways of seeing and believing and feeling. And one person's view of unconditional love can be completely different than yours. But that doesn't mean that they aren't loving unconditionally exactly as they know how to. You know, there's a saying that one can only love as deep as the love that they've ever felt or that they have for themselves. And that is so true. If someone has lived a life and they've never fully felt love, touched love, breathed love, loved love, how would you ever expect that person to give a love that matches the love that you have, that you feel is so deep, that swims in the ocean of the unknown? And what makes you determine that your love has more depth than theirs just because they cannot perceive it in the way that you do? And this leads me to my conclusion of my answer and also leads me to the question to yours. I personally see that love can be unconditional, but I feel that first we must lose the stereotypes of love. We must lose touch with all of the false beliefs of what love looks like, how love should be, that if you have the perfect partner, you're never going to argue again, or you're never going to have an interest in someone else, or you're never going to do this, or any of those limitations. Limitations have no unconditional love. There is no room for unconditional love where you have capped love. And you hear so many people preaching on the thought of love and what it means and the expectations of love. But the thing is, love has no limitations. Love has no expectations. Love simply loves. It loves the dark. It loves the light. It loves the arguments. It loves the fights. It loves the peace. It loves the serenity. It loves everything, because love is an energy. So tell me, what do you think? Do you believe in unconditional love? Are you a giver or a receiver of unconditional love? I love to hear your thoughts. I thank you all so much for joining me in this space. I truly hope that this space will open a portal for you to analyze what unconditional love looks like for you. I value you, I appreciate you, and I thank you for giving me this space to co-create a new definition of the mind, heart, space, and matter in which we reside. Again, I ask that you all check me out on Patreon. Go over there and subscribe to my space. And also make sure you follow me on all social media platforms if you enjoy my content. I thank you. I love you. And until we meet again, soul family, I'll talk to you soon.